Hello, I'm Julia Pearson from the BBC's Generation 2015 project, and this is part of the In My Shoes initiative to get young people talking about the problems that matter to them. At 18, I'm part of the generation who are going to live through a lot of long-term environmental impacts on the planet, and we're currently in a global crisis scenario with the issue of climate change. But politicians don't really seem to be treating it as such. Global temperatures have increased by 0.8% since the Industrial Revolution, accompanied probably by the most rapid increase in CO2 in recorded history. And by the end of the century, it's predicted that temperature rises could go from 3, maybe even 10 degrees, which will have cataclysmic impacts upon the globe. 1 in 6 species have recently said are under threat from human activity, which includes climate change. And the melting of the ice caps, which has already begun, could well become irreversible, eventually leading to the flooding of many of the world's major cities, including London. The fact is, many people in socially responsible positions are acting in socially irresponsible ways. The local MP for Monmouth said at local hustings that he doesn't think climate change is impacted by human causes, despite 98% of the global scientific community disagreeing with that statement, and says therefore we shouldn't do anything to act upon it. Out of the main political parties, Tories and UKIP are supporting fracking, which, despite claims, is still high in CO2. It's not as high as coal and other emissions, but it's still damaging to the environment. And they plan to scrap subsidies for onshore wind farms. UKIP actually plans to abolish the 2008 Climate Change Act and invest heavily in fossil fuels. These policies would have an absolutely detrimental effect on the world's climate. Even with a rise in environmental support, as seen through increased membership of the Green Party, the media doesn't seem to be picking up on these issues. In the debates running up to the general election, the main issues talked about seem to be immigration, the NHS and the economy, which all are valid, but environment itself didn't come up as a main issue to be discussed. And although it was brushed on a couple of times, once by Miliband, once by Natalie Bennett I saw, it was never fully discussed or debated. In December this year, representatives from 196 countries are going to meet in Paris to negotiate an international agreement on climate change. Many young people like me have climate change and environmental issues at their heart and on their ballot papers. And whatever government is formed, they have to see a global resolution at the end of the year in Paris, or we will see cataclysmic global consequences for both my generation and the ones following us. Thank you. That was Julia Pearson from Generation 2015.